Fermentation is an ancestral technology that has been present in all cultures and civilizations around the world. It has been essential for the preservation of food in seasons of scarcity. Historically, it had a huge impact on the gastronomic culture and the flavor palette in different areas around the globe, depending on food substrates, climatic conditions, and microorganisms present in a specific place. People developed skills to use microorganisms to convert food and established a close relationship with them.
I'm very interested in fermentation, since I believe that it's a process with a huge potential from a gastronomical point of view. Lately, I've been working on legumes and on finding innovative ways to transform them through these fermentation processes. My name is Bernat Guichet. I hold a PhD in organic chemistry, and I work in a restaurant applying my scientific knowledge on the development of innovative ingredients.
Legumes are a significant source of protein, dietary fiber, carbohydrates and dietary minerals, and like other plant-based foods, contain no cholesterol and little fat or sodium. But even though their qualities seem so beneficial, in developed countries, this consumption is decreasing dramatically. In some places like Spain, the consumption has dropped 75% in 40 years.
Why? Is it a matter of fashion? Is it related to the market reality? The lack of time to cook legumes? We applied the process of producing tempeh through fermentation to local legumes and checked if the output was interesting. The challenge was to apply the process of fermentation to white cooked beans that are cultivated in our region.
Fermentation has always been linked to climatic conditions, especially when humans were not able to control them in a laboratory. Temperature, humidity, and substrates of a region determine the varieties that naturally grew and the microorganisms available in the environment. On the other hand, every region has its cultural features, and these two facts, for centuries, have linked culture and food.
The fermentation process of tempeh is driven by a fungus that needs certain conditions of temperature and humidity. When these conditions are met, the fungus generates a mycelium that compacts the beans and starts transforming them. This is our starting point for the innovation. I'm not working in a scientific organization, but this doesn't mean that I can't work with a scientific approach. I'm applying my scientific knowledge to navigate in the process of developing new products that need to taste delicious, but that can also be used in other fields. Also, this process started as an open source project in the Nordic Food Lab and has been published in a peer-reviewed journal and shared in different conferences, so the information is available.
There are serendipitous findings in culinary research. When low-temperature cooking techniques are applied to tempeh, some interesting modifications happen. After a couple of days of low-temperature cooking, the color of the tempeh shifts from pale to orange, and the taste becomes sweet and with umami notes.
We realized that the shift of the product was significant, and we coined a new name to avoid misleading the consumers. I'm finding imaginative ways to deliver interesting products to the kitchen, but also providing possible research topics that can be explored in collaboration with researchers in the academy. This product might have many other commercial uses that could affect many different stakeholders. The use of proximity crops instead of global ones like soy would affect local producers. Restaurants, companies of processed foods, private consumers, but beyond that, it could affect the preservation of crop diversity. By maintaining the use of local seeds, using our ancestral varieties, we favor the survival of these seeds and we preserve the diversity of legumes.
When you think about soybean products, a global product in opposition to proximity seeds, the first thing that comes to mind are healthy food staples like tofu, edamame, or soya milk. But in reality, a typical soybean is more likely to end up in a ham and cheese sandwich or a chicken nugget than a block of tofu. 70 to 75% of the world's soy ends up as feed for chickens, pigs, cows, and farmed fish. The remainder is used in a variety of industrial applications, including biodiesel production or for direct human consumption. Growth in demand is largely attributable to the increasing preference for meat among the growing middle class in emerging economies, which has brought with it higher demand for animal feed.
The product won't be the cheapest of all if it's commercialized. This is for sure. I work in a company with commercial interests, of course, but the restaurant is willing of spending money and time to develop technologies that will be later applied to consumer products or technologies. Thickening agents, for instance, is a culinary tool that has been used in hospitals to help people with difficult swallowing. I don't know if these crop fields can affect other crops. And also, any fermentation process involving microorganisms has to be deeply analyzed, concerning safety to discard histamines or other harmful toxins. Maillard reactions in the cooking that give browned food its distinctive flavor can bring also carcinogenic byproducts, as in many other cooked products in our everyday life. The cultural relationship that humanity has with cooking is not balanced in terms of gender. While women have been attributed the role of cooking in the majority of households, high cuisine is still a men's world.
In the field of food, professionals are concerned not only about nutritional value, but also about the appreciation of the product by society. There could be a synthetic meal perfect from a nutritional point of view that nobody liked. As human beings, there is a need to make meals enjoyable.
We don't have any information on the opinion of the public about our products, but chefs are the ones concerned about what the consumers like, but not only that. They are stimulating the consumers with new flavors, new proposals and experiences. Do we need to take always into account the nutritional values of food? Or the enjoyment of food? Or maybe both? That's where variety offers versatility. The Roca brothers, the chef, the sommelier and the pastry chef of the restaurant usually state that traditions are legitimated avant-garde, meaning that any present tradition was necessarily an innovation in the past, which people legitimated over time.
Culinary avant-garde is challenging the gastronomy of today, pushing its boundaries. Somehow it is a way to point to topics that might need an update, as well as proposing ways and suggesting alternatives to improve the gastronomical world of tomorrow. And this may be really broad, from plating to considering approaches for food sustainability.